President, well, this is an incredibly important topic, and I thank Senator O'Sullivan for bringing this matter to the Senate for debate, because despite the government coming to the last election promising a reduction in power prices, Australian consumers, whether they be households or businesses, have seen nothing but skyrocketing prices. There are jobs and businesses leaving our shores because they can no longer afford the costs of doing business in this country. I'm not just telling you that. You're seeing it from public companies who are making those announcements. You're seeing an increase in the number of businesses that are struggling, liquidation numbers, and you're seeing it with the number of businesses and households that are just saying they can't afford these bills. They can't afford these bills. Of course, it started in Queensland, the state that had the lowest energy prices, thanks to the introduction for coal-fired power stations a long time ago, when the Labor government of the day introduced a 45 cents per kilowatt subsidy for putting solar panels on your roof. Every public servant in town who heard about it had them on their roof. That was terrific. A lot of farmers put them out in their fields. But what it did do is it increased $1 billion a year to the electricity costs in Queensland. So that had already started happening. We've seen more renewables rolled out, but what we've also seen is increasing prices. And it is time that the government came clean that every time they say renewables are the cheapest source of electricity, that is a lie, because they never factor in transmission lines. They never factor in the terrible price to communities. When I was in Rockhampton the other day, I had landholders telling me of the confidentiality agreements they have to sign with offshore, big, international, foreign-owned wind farm proponents, the very people who will provide no manufacturing jobs in Australia, because all the wind turbines are manufactured offshore, as are the solar panels. No manufacturing jobs here, no royalties coming here from electricity generation, no investment, and instead dividing local communities into those who have, which have the wind farms on their properties, and those that have not, who live right next door but get all the downside, the impact on their roads. But anyway, that is the government's mantra, is to destroy regional communities without a care, apart from continuing to talk about how renewable energy will bring down prices. But more urgently is the terrible intervention into the gas market. So this government, nearly 2 years ago, intervened in our gas market so dramatically that we have seen investment fleeing Australia. Now, that's not just investment into big projects. It's not big business. It's into the small businesses regionally. It's into the well-paid jobs that Australians are missing out on. It's the royalties and company taxes that Australia of the future will miss out on. This is such economic irresponsibility that it's hard to know where to begin, because if you look at Australia's balance sheet, it is driven by coal, iron ore and gas, and the only thing that changes is that order. And when you start ripping the legs out from underneath gas, you tell coal that they're surplus to requirements. Who knows what's next for iron ore, but what you do is you damage Australia's balance sheet and future cash flow and ability to pay for schools and roads and hospitals and all the things that we enjoy in this country. That is the direct result of this crazy mishandling of energy policy that is threatening reliability and threatening costs. And I love every time the government talks about their payment to help people with electricity bills, they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're putting their hand into your pocket, taking out some of your hard-earned tax dollars, and they're giving them back to everybody else in the community. No checking of whether you deserve it, you're struggling, whether you're somebody who owns multiple homes. Nope, they're just handing it to everybody because there is no fiscal responsibility. It's just create a problem and then rob it from Peter to pay Paul to try and solve it. So you're absolutely right, Senator Chisholm. There is going to be a clear contrast at the next election. There's going to be a contrast from a government that is driving us up onto the rocks, and a government that actually has a plan that is in line with the other major economies in the world to reduce emissions and have reliable, affordable electricity.
Senator